Today is Friday's inspiration. There we are. We're just live on Instagram now. So, welcome. Today we are going to be talking about, for Friday's inspiration, something that I find exciting and interesting. And it's all about how to access your awakened predator. So, predator usually is assigned to a very depraved part of humanity. And it's sort of, I don't know if they did that on purpose or that's just how it is, but there's a much broader definition of what a true predator is. And instead of assigning it to the deepest and darkest parts of humanity, there's a very, very powerful part of our energy that relates to this predator energy. I was first introduced to this energy at Brendan Burchard's greatest speaker training. And one of his presenters was Bo Eason. And Bo Eason is a stage presence coach. And he was telling us about this African Nuba tribe. It's a tribe in Africa that never gets eaten by predator cats. And so he mentioned how they operate very much like these predator cats, in that they have this very keen awareness that operates 360 degrees around them. So when these Nuba tribesmen, when they're walking through the jungle, they have this very finely tuned, keen awareness that keeps them from getting eaten by these predator cats. Unless they've been drinking, and then they become dinner. So these predator cats possess these traits that are very much aware, very keenly aware. And so this is a part of our energy field that I discovered lives in a very specific place. So I call this the awakened predator because it's a very finely tuned part of our energy field that we don't access unless we've been doing enough work that we get from where we are out to where this energy exists. And, not everyone is meant to tap into this energy. However, if you have been doing your work, like many of the people that show up here, they run their energy, that process that I have given to you for free, so you can practice that on a regular basis, that this energy is going to be available for those who have really already done the work. Because this part of our energy field is an amplifier, and we don't want to amplify things before they need to be amplified. Say, for instance, you still are working on managing anger or managing fears, like those are just still kind of running out of control for you. You would not want to access your awakened predator, because then that is just going to amplify those energies. So you really want to be able to clear all of the energies that are between you and this specific layer. So I'll tell you where this layer exists. This layer, it's a part of our aura. It's one of the layers of our aura. And it exists out in the 20th layer of our aura. And it's sandwiched between some other energies that are trying to push it down, trying to hold down this very powerful layer, because they know how much power we can possess when we access this specific layer of our energy field. So on the one side, in the 15th layer, you have that 1% energy that we can all feel is very present on the planet, trying to hold down our power and our energy and our influence. And so that's on one side of this layer. And then on the other side, in the 25th and 30th layers, are the fear entities And then beyond that are the reptilian energies, which basically controls all of the 1% energies. So what these energies are trying to do is they're trying to hold down this powerful part of our layer so that we can't expand out to an even more powerful part, which is the 40th layer. The 40th layer is where oneness exists. And so these influences don't want us to reach this level of oneness where we are all connected, where we all know we're connected. We're already connected anyway. But when we reach this level of the 40th layer where we can experience oneness, it's no longer just a concept. It's something we actually experience, we feel, we know. We know that all lives matter. And if I offend anybody by that phrase, I just mean that every life matters. When you get out to this 40th layer, there are no divisions. There are no, so all the things that these energies, like the 1% and reptilians, are trying to create, all the ways that they're trying to divide us by gender and race and country and financial status and a million other ways, that doesn't exist in that layer of oneness. We're all one. We're all made of the same stardust. And so this is where we're all headed, is out to this 40th layer where we can all connect in the same like this oneness of mind. So when they're talking a new world order where we're all one, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting to where we innately know we all exist in that energy of unconditional love. So this is where we're all headed. This is also in that 40th layer, is also where the alliance exists. So the alliance is an energy that's looking over everything. Like they've got our back. They know everything that's going on. And they are working diligently behind the scenes, things that you have no clue about, moving us in this direction towards this golden age. And that's just an energetic thing that's going to happen with or without us. So the more of us that can get on board with this, the better. And, you know, as, well, now that my book is basically finished, it's in some final stages of formatting, but so I'm not spending all this time writing a book anymore, that I have more time over and above working with clients, that I can now, I've been focusing a little more introspectively. And one of the things that I noticed is that Spirit wanted me to get to know my awakened predator a little bit better. And so I've been doing that. And it came to mind, you know, like this idea of a predator cat and other predators. I'm always curious about things, and I'm always asking my spirit guides about, you know, different things. So one of the things I asked was, how many past lives had I been killed, mauled, eaten by a predator animal? And I got three. I got 3 different lifetimes. So the first time was by a black panther. The second time was by a grizzly bear. And then the third time is very old, very ancient, by a dragon. Wasn't a fire-breathing dragon, but it was a dragon. And so it made me realize that these are very powerful totems that I now possess. And so I started looking into and feeling into the energies of these totems, like the energy of the Black Panthers, a very powerful energy that knows how to navigate darkness, knows how to navigate those shadows and those fearful places. I feel pretty fearless because I know how to find fear. I know how to eliminate fear. And so I'm not afraid of digging into the shadows. And I'm also not afraid of the spiritual realm. A lot of people are afraid of demons and so forth. And I'm not afraid of any of those things because I know how to navigate in the dark, in those darker energetic places. And then that grizzly bear, I actually have a lot of people that call me Mama Bear, and so this bear energy, and especially the grizzly bear, is a very courageous, powerful animal that also helps to has a lot of protective energy, but also helps to make you feel powerful, especially when you're up against any kind of adversity. So that's a really strong, powerful totem as well. And then the dragon, one of the most powerful animal totems, it's more of that primordial power, that power that can master the energies of the elements. Like I work a lot with the elemental rain beings to help work with the rain and on my book, you'll notice that I have the woman on the front cover is holding in one hand fire, and in the other hand the globe, the earth, so that earth energy. Anyway, so there's a lot of different aspects to the dragon medicine and that powerful protection, transformation, wisdom, a lot of magic, a lot of metaphysical stuff, a huge long list. Whoops. I don't know what happened here. Hang on a second. Maybe I'm just on the wrong page. Okay, there we go. Sorry, you're having trouble. So maybe, Roma, you can let me know if we're still on Facebook. It says it's not working, but I will proceed because the show must go on. So when it comes to this awakened predator energy, one of the things I wanted to do today in this MediClearing was to clear some of the energy so that if you're one of the people who are ready to access this energy, that you'll be able to access more of your awakened predator energy. So this energy also gives us access to 360 degrees of awareness. So all directions, all around, up and down, around, behind us, every direction. This is where we have better vision, our clairvoyance, our clairaudience, our knowing will happen 360 degrees around us. And then also, this layer also helps us to access our 360 senses. So that might be new to you. It's actually the Egyptians who, back in the day when they were at their height, when those pyramids were doing what they were designed to do, which was to amplify the energies on the planet, that people back then had access to 360 senses. And so as we become more conscious, more aware, we are going to be more conscious and aware of all the ways that we have senses that we didn't even realize. Senses that, we just start to connect the dots and things start to make more sense because we just start tapping into things we didn't even know we knew. So this is this book, future book, all about our 360 senses. This is something that I'll be diving into a little deeper. People ask me, well, what are the senses? So just to give you a small taste, a lot of people, so this is just with one of our senses. So most of us think of 5 senses that we have, our sight, our smell, our taste, touch, hearing. And if you take just the sensation of touch, like on our skin, so there's a lot of senses beyond that you know about, but we don't really think of as senses maybe. But there's the sensation of itch. There's also pressure. There's pain. Like when you have a sensation on your skin, there's senses that tell you, is that hot? Is it cold? Is it cutting you? Is it itchy? Is it painful? Is it from a bite, or is it from some kind of a injury? So there's a lot of senses that happen. That's just with one thing with the skin. And so, me being able to do what I do with my temperature readings, being able to assess someone's energy across the globe, someone I've never seen before, I know nothing about, and I tap in and I dial into their energy field, and I explain and tell them about 40 of their different senses, of 40 of their different calibrations. And they always say, well, yeah, you nailed it. How does that happen? That happens because I'm tapping into senses that most people are unaware of. So that's all it is. It's not magic. It's just being more conscious, being more aware, and to a degree. Okay, thanks, Roma. To a degree that is just stronger than most people. So I'm giving you kind of like a preview of what is possible for everyone. Everyone can become more awake, more conscious by releasing all of these energies that we keep finding, amplifying the good ones. And the more that you do this, the more awareness you have. And so that's why, you can certainly see the division in awareness and consciousness in what's going on the planet right now. There's, as you know, a whole group of people, maybe the majority of people, who are still asleep, who are still have no awareness that there is this controlling force on the planet, and that they don't have our highest and best interests at heart, and they're motivated by much darker energies. So there's a lot of people who are not aware to any of that. And so those of you who come here, operating from a different level. So you are more conscious, more aware, and maybe hungry for more as well. So that's what we're going to tap into today, is more of these senses, these awarenesses. And so I'm going to be doing a little MediClearing on this, clearing more of the energies that can help you access this awakened predator that lives out in the 20th layer. But there's energies that have to get cleared before we access that. So that's what we're going to do first. And, if you're curious, because the awakened predator is another one of the energies that I measure, what percentage of yours is activated? What percentage of your awakened predator do you have access to already? You might already have access to quite a bit of it. And then again, maybe not very much at all, maybe only 15%. But generally, the more conscious people that I come across or that come to me for their reports, they tend to have a higher percentage of this awakened predator already activated. So let's go ahead. So the other thing I was going to say is that if you did want to know what your measurements were, that along with, Roma just posted about the vibrational temperature report. So that is what you'll access to request your vibrational altitude report. So that I'll measure 40 different things, and then you'll know exactly where you're at. And especially if you've been doing a lot of work here, you might be curious, well, is it working? Did I make some progress? And so this is really helpful in knowing exactly where you're at. All right, so let's get started and accessing more of your awakened predator if you're ready. And you're only going to access as much as you're ready for. So you don't have to be afraid that I'm going to, clear things that you're not ready for. You're basically in charge here. And you're only going to release what you're ready to release. And you're only going to access what you're ready to access. So first of all, we always start with getting grounded. So imagine that line of energy that's going from the base of your spine all the way to the center of the planet. And then we're going to bring that abundant feminine earth energy up through the legs and then down that grounding cord. So it creates a loop of energy up your legs, down your grounding. Let's see if you have a worry circle. Ideally, you wouldn't have one. Today, it's out to the third layer of your aura. So just imagine pulling in this circle that radiates around your root chakra. And we're just going to pull that energy in, and we're just going to dump all that energy down the grounding where it can get processed. Excellent. And then we're going to bring your attention above your head. So you have anywhere between 3 and 50 rings above your head. And we're going to start bringing pure source energy down through these creative rings, which hold your dreams and your desires. And we're going to start bringing pure source down into your crown and then down through the central core. 7, 6, 5, so down through the throat. So it's getting stuck right at the throat, out to that third layer. So we're going to go out front and back. I do sideways like this. And we're going to pull that energy into the core of the throat. So all the places that you've been feeling like you don't have a voice, you can't speak up. People don't hear what you have to say. They don't understand what you're trying to convey. So we're going to pull in this energy so that you can start asking for what you need, so you don't need to feel angry. That's where anger starts, is when we don't feel like we have a voice. It's very frustrating. Okay, great. So as we're bringing that energy down through the throat and the heart and the solar plexus, so it's stopping right at the solar plexus. Let's go out to the third layer, front and back, as we pull in this energy that's making you feel tired, making you feel unmotivated, maybe a little depressed, and kind of stuck. Okay, we're just going to drop all that energy down the grounding. Excellent. And then as we're bringing pure source down through the solar plexus, down into that second chakra, spilling down the root. Excellent. We're going to mix these two energies, the earth energy and the pure source, where it meets right at that root chakra. We're going to mix that together, and then we're going to bring it up the front, real close to the spine, as it comes up through the first, second, third. So it's stopping at the solar plexus again. Let's go out to that third layer, out in front, pulling in all this energy that's making you feel stuck and tired and depressed and like you can't get anything done unless you use a lot of effort and forcing and pushing. And whenever you feel like that, it's a sign that your solar plexus is congested. Easily remedied right here. Okay, good. So as we're bringing this energy up through the solar plexus now, up into the heart where it's stopping, it goes all the way out to the 15th layer. So as you will recall, what is the 15th layer? That's the 1% energy. So they are very adverse to heart energy. They want to push down the heart energy because the heart is where we access our infinite intelligence. It's also where we self-generate love. So, they've got us all looking on the outside for everything, looking on the outside for answers, for love, for everything, for validation, for, everything is on the outside, and that's a lie. Everything we need is actually inside. And then when we self-generate these energies that are going to be the most helpful, like the energy of unconditional love for ourselves, and that happens right in the heart, then our outer world is going to reflect what we've self-generated in our inner core. And this is the new paradigm that's emerging. This is the paradigm that they have kept us asleep to. They don't want us to know that we can generate all this self-love. They don't want love on the planet. That's the last thing they want. It's like kryptonite. So they're generally pushing down our heart energy all the time. And they operate with zero heart. Their hearts are closed. Okay, that's why they can do all the things that they're doing. Because, when we logically think, how could they do the things that are happening on the planet? It's like, well, yeah, closed heart. They don't feel, they don't care. So we're going to bring this 50-50 mixture up through the heart and up into the throat where it's stopping. So let's go out to that third layer where it feels like you don't have a voice because they're not listening. They don't care what you have to say. They don't want to hear your complaints. So we're just going to send all of that down the grounding as we bring this 50-50 mixture up through the throat and the sixth chakra and the crown, giving yourself permission right at the crown. So as we come up through the rings now, and then we're going to cascade down through all the layers of the aura. We're going to pay special attention to the third layer, which feels very congested. So we're going to start at the top, and it's just like paint being poured over a balloon. But this whole layer feels congested. So it goes along with what's been going on in your solar plexus, more of that tired, stuck energy. And this is where they want us to be, in this tired, stuck energy. So especially around the solar plexus, as we clear this energy around the solar plexus in this third layer. Okay, good. Third, 2, 3. Then we're going to do the 15th layer. We're going to start at the bottom. We're going to lift this energy up through this layer. And you'll notice that it's mostly up around the 6th and 7th chakras where this energy is in this layer, so the 1%, where they're trying to affect how you think and the things that you believe, and also trying to push down your ability to give yourself permission. Good. So as we're just lifting that up through that central core, we're going to send it off planet where it belongs. Okay, 15. Okay, so before we clear the 20th layer, I want to measure a few things. So this is the awakened predator layer. I want to measure the energy of anger and fear, because those are two energies we don't want to amplify, as well as the energy of the martyr. So that's another energy very common that people try to use for a fuel source, like running martyr energy, which is that hardworking, struggling, suffering, along with the energies of anger, which feels like a very big energy, and it is, but it's not your personal power. It's an energy that can get things done, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with anger. It's just that too many people don't use anger for what it's intended to. It's intended to, when you get angry, it's usually because there's some kind of injustice happening, and the anger is meant to move you to get something done. But most people don't use it for that. They use it to sit around and feel crappy and unmotivated and irritated and havoc on your nervous system. That's not how anger is meant to be used. And it's not meant to destroy things either or harm other people. That is also not how anger is meant to be used. So, and I'm glad you're already feeling better, Zaylia. That's great. Thank you for the feedback. So we want to measure the anger, martyr, anger, and fear, 3 really big energies that we don't want to amplify. So martyr right now is at 50%. So collectively, those of you who are on Instagram and Facebook, and then anger, 100%. You don't want to amplify that. And then fear, also at 50%. So let's start with anger since that's the biggest. And, this is part of how you really amplify your energies is by getting away from this model of using anger as your fuel source and starting to tap into, so eliminating the anger, but then starting to tap into the power of your influential voice so that you don't have to have this anger that keeps building up and building up. And, and then using our more feminine magnetic energy that pulls things to us. So when things are coming to us, we don't have to chase after anything. Clients, rich resources, opportunities, they all start coming to us instead of us having to chase after them. And anger is sort of the opposite of this wealth, prosperity, and abundant energy. It's a low vibration. So let's see where it is. Mostly in the root chakra, out to that third layer. So we're going to go out to the third layer of our aura around our root. We're going to pull in this worry circle with all of the anger that's in it, and we're going to just dump it down that grounding cord so it can be transformed and converted into a more useful energy. Because energies can't be destroyed, but they can be transformed. They can be converted into something more useful. Okay, so we're just dropping that anger down the grounding. And, if you're still struggling with anger, there's a really good anger exercise that I have in, it's called I'm Ready for My Breakthrough. It's a very small little program that you can do on your own, self-paced mini course that addresses fear and anger. So if you're still struggling with anger, that's like an ongoing theme for you, I highly suggest that you get this little mini course, I'm Ready for My Breakthrough. And Friday's a great day to do this exercise too. I like doing it over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a 3-day exercise. Okay, anger. So let's see where else. In the sixth chakra, so these are the beliefs that you need anger to get anything done. Like, people don't listen to me unless I get angry. Well, no, that's just how you've trained people. And it's just a bad habit. So let's bring in this angry energy at the sixth chakra. So the beliefs around anger. And it's not like we're taking anger away here. We're just eliminating all the excess anger that doesn't serve you. Okay, great. So now let's measure anger again, down to 15%. So there's still a little bit left that we want to eliminate all of it. In the heart. So whenever there's anger in the heart, it's generally turned inward, where you make yourself wrong, you judge yourself, not doing it right. Let's go out to that third layer, and we're going to pull in this anger that you have at yourself so that we can be kinder. You can be kinder to yourself and not beat yourself up so hard all the time. Okay, anger. Okay, so now it's at 0. And the biggest thing I want you to notice is how much calmer you feel. So all of that anger that you were holding, not your anger. These are other people's anger energies, and the 1% is very, very angry. They know how to work with the energy fields on the planet so that you feel their anger. But since you don't realize it's not yours, you think it's yours. and then but it's really not. So anyway, you can see how easy it is to release anger that's not yours. Okay, so let's do martyr, still at 50%. Yes, good. Thanks for letting me know that Xylia's mentioning that she feels calmer. Yeah, so let's do the same thing with the martyr, which is still at 50%. Also in the root, out to that third layer. So let's pull that energy in. So now we're working the same place, but we have a different focus. We have a different intention of gathering up all of that hard-working, struggling, suffering, martyr energy, and we're just going to drop it down the grounding cord. It's that easy. Also in the heart, we're going to go out to that third layer. So when you're in a lot of martyr energy in your heart, this is where you're going to be trying to prove your worth and value, and working really hard to do that. Like, see how hard I work, and so I'm worthy of the money I just worked really hard for, and I'm worthy of admiration, or whatever it is you're trying to work hard for. The approval of others is often another thing people work hard for without even realizing it. Okay, so let's measure martyr, still at 15%. I'm going to go back down to the root, second layer, where there's also some anger and rage in the root. So we're going to drop that down the grounding as well. Okay, good. Sending that down the grounding. Excellent. Okay, so now martyr is at 0. So you might even feel a little calmer still. And so then the last one we're going to release is fear. That's still at 50%. Also in the root. So here we are clearing 3 different energies in the very same fashion, but we have a different focus each time. So here we're going to pull in the energies of fear. So I'll identify some of these fears for you so you can feel into what we're releasing. So let's see what some of these are. So fear of the unknown, a fear of not being able to do enough, let's see what else. You guys have cleared a lot of good fears, so that's great. It's fear of the future, unknown. Well, I think those are some big ones. So that was the fear of losing control, yes, and the fear of the future, yes. Those 2 are really big ones. Okay, so we're going to focus on releasing those 2 fears out of the grounding. There's also a fear of dying for some of you, so let's bring that in. That's actually a very powerful fear that people will do. They'll do things that they wouldn't normally do because they're afraid of dying. So people can make you do things if you have a fear of dying, like making you take a vaccine. If you're afraid you're going to die from this thing that they've made a big thing, then you're likely to run and go get the vaccine. I'm not going to be talking about vaccines today, so anyway. Okay, so let's, we're clearing this fear out of the root, and we're sending those fears down the grounding. Okay. So now the fear is at 0. So again, notice how much calmer your body feels. So this is just an indication of all the energies that you're feeling that aren't yours. So now we're going to go out to this 20th layer where the awakened predator lives. And this layer wants to be grounded. So we're going to start at